Ukrainian drones are methodically eliminating abandoned Russian armored vehicles scattered across the battlefield. These silent hunters descend from the sky, leaving behind nothing but heaps of charred metal. A tank engulfed in flames stands as one of the most striking examples of their precision. Elsewhere, another armored vehicle moved forward confidently. Draped in camouflage nets and fitted with protective grills. Yet as it advanced toward the front line, a drone dove straight at it. The result? Nothing left but smoke and debris. A second armored carrier approaching from the opposite direction managed to survive artillery fire. Even mines couldn't stop it. But when a Ukrainian operator directed his drone toward the vehicle, the outcome was inevitable. A devastating explosion. Thousands of fragments scattered across the field. Likely seeing this destruction, Russian troops decided to retreat rather than press forward. Another drone approached its target, and moments later, another explosion. Fueled by the ammunition inside. Next came a Russian tank. A mine layer had helped it reach the middle of a field, but a drone above had already locked onto its position. The tank's navigation system was disabled, and the crew abandoned it in panic. Too late, another drone strike turned the tank into a fireball. As another Russian tank passed through a ruined village, it too became a target. The UAV hit it squarely. When Ukrainian forces inspected the aftermath, the tank's massive turret was found several meters away, half buried in the dirt. Witnessing this, the crew of a second tank also fled their vehicle, and they were right to do so. The Ukrainian drone hovered silently, its operator carefully selecting the weakest point. Seconds later, an explosion lit up the sky. The turret flew into the air. In another scene, Ukrainian drones continued their wreck cleanup. A Russian T-80 tank rolled into action. Unaware that it was already being tracked. The result? Total annihilation. Moments later, attention shifted to another armored personnel carrier. The drone's camera locked onto the target. The vehicle exploded like a bubble, disappearing in an instant. Two Russian carriers pushed toward a Ukrainian settlement, one covering the other with suppressive fire. But the skies belonged to Ukraine. The first drone struck, followed by another. As cluster munitions detonated nearby, one of the carriers hit a mine and halted. A second Ukrainian drone immediately descended, targeting it with deadly accuracy. A massive explosion followed. Flames engulfed the vehicle, ammunition ignited, and in seconds, nothing remained. As reinforcements moved in, Ukrainian drones were already monitoring them. The hit vehicle stopped dead in its tracks while the rest scattered. By then, every Russian armored unit in the area had been wiped out. After the failed assault, Russian troops abandoned their vehicles. They had no other choice. Those machines could no longer protect them. One Ukrainian drone dropped a grenade inside an armored carrier. Fuel, oil, and ammunition ignited at once. The rising heat was so intense that the metal hatches burst open, like tin lids. The same fate befell another tank. A grenade detonated inside, triggering a violent fire and a second explosion that tore the tank apart. What remained was only ash, molten steel, and the silent echo of Ukraine's dominance over the battlefield skies. Chassis, turret, hull fragments, everything scattered hundreds of meters away. Shrapnel even damages a nearby derelict tank. Did this tank stand a chance? It was fitted with reactive armor and an EW system, but after striking a mine, the crew abandoned the vehicle. Then a grenade detonated and flames burst forth. Thermal traps ignited and detonated in sequence, creating a spectacular scene. The tank burned to ashes. Russian armored forces rely on various support systems during assaults. Take the UR-77 Meteorite, for example. This mine-clearing vehicle uses explosives to open lanes through mined areas. Each charge weighs about 725 kilograms, and each launcher carries only 2 loads. A Ukrainian drone struck a UR-77. The ensuing fire reached the charges and produced a massive explosion. Russians commonly protect their tanks with systems like the Soin-Sep-Yok. Thermobaric munitions can be devastating, which is why these systems are high-value targets on the battlefield. A kamikaze drone hit one such system. The Soin-Sep-Yok tried to relocate quickly, but a Ukrainian UAV caught up with it. $15 million gone in an instant. A BM-21 Grad fired on AFU positions. The Russians reloaded the launcher and moved to new coordinates for a follow-up strike. The Ukrainians launched another drone to stop the attack. And here comes the Nona self-propelled mortar, an effective weapon for supporting assault units. Soon a counter-battery duel erupted. AFU artillery fired. A perfect hit. Then we see 2 Nonas at once. The Russians continued to bring active fire onto Ukrainian fortifications, but it didn't last. A HIMARS was launched. The rocket struck both KMTS with pinpoint accuracy and destroyed them. The next target's value could reach up to $650 million. A book-type SAM system, exposed and therefore extremely vulnerable. These systems tend to explode spectacularly when hit. The SSU located one and passed the coordinates to the HIMARS crew. Rockets were launched. The American system gave